Hi there, I'm Stephen Chu, and this is another episode on the cognitive challenges of effective teaching, a video series created by Bill Serban and myself. In this video, I'm going to talk about two challenges that are related to each other. The first one is student mental mindset, and the second one is student fear and mistrust. So let's start with an example of how you might see these challenges in the classroom. Let's say you're teaching a course, a first year general education course that everyone has to take. A good example of that is writing and composition. So you tell the students, welcome to Writing and Composition 101. And of course, you hope that the students are going to respond in the following way. Well, writing is so important to my career. This is a chance for me to work hard and improve my writing. That would be ideal, but that doesn't always happen. Students come to our courses with very different attitudes and beliefs and expectations about courses. So a person might say, I'm no good at writing. I hate writing. So they believe that they have no talent in writing. There's nothing they can do to improve their writing. And this is just going to be an experience full of frustration for them because they don't have the talent and the ability to improve their writing. Another person might say this class is a waste of time. They don't understand why they have to take this course. They're not interested in the course. They don't see how it relates to their career plans. So they're already thinking that this is just going to be a waste of time and they're not going to invest effort into the course. And another person might be thinking this is where they weed out students. So this is one of those courses where they weed out students who don't belong here, students who don't already have the background that they're looking for. So this student is very mistrustful of the professor, of what the professor's motives are. The student looks at this course not as a chance to improve writing, but as a chance to sort of identify and weed out the undesirable students. All of these reactions have to do with student mental mindset and student fear and mistrust. So let's take each one in turn, starting with student mental mindset. So student mental mindset refers to all the student attitudes and beliefs about a course or a topic. So when they come into your course, they have certain attitudes about it, expectations about it, and beliefs about the course. So will they enjoy the course? Have they enjoyed similar courses before? Is the course going to be valuable? How useful is this for achieving the students' goals? And then what's very important is their expectations about their ability to succeed or do well in the course. Are they looking to really excel and make a top grade, or are they just looking to get by with the minimal amount of effort? All these have to do with student mental mindset. Now, the most identifiable work on student mental mindset has been done by Dweck, looking at growth versus fixed mindset. In Dweck's framework, there are two different basic mindsets. People always have a mix of one or the other, but they are dominant in one versus the other, although it can vary by topic area. So one of these is a growth mindset, where you believe that your talent, your ability can be developed through your own hard work or through proper strategies or through guidance and feedback from others. But you believe that ability is malleable and it can grow with sufficient and correct kind of effort. Now, contrary to that is fixed mindset, belief that talents are innate gifts. In other words, you are born with a certain talent. That talent is not changeable. You can't increase that talent by your own effort and hard work. And Dweck has done a lot of work showing that growth mindset is far more productive than fixed mindset. People with fixed mindset tend to avoid challenges because if they fail, there's nothing they can do to succeed. They tend to take criticism personally, and they tend to be threatened by the success of others. Whereas people with a growth mindset see challenging work as a personal challenge, a way to get better. They see criticism as being useful, and they are inspired by the success of others. Now, a lot has been written about growth and fixed mindset. You can find a ton of this on the web. What's strange about growth mindset is after Dweck introduced it, it kind of went through this buzzword phase, which was not of Dweck's making. It kind of became seen. People came to see it as some sort of silver bullet, like it was going, or a magic bullet. It was going to revolutionize teaching. This is often the case in education, where it sort of became a fad, although Dweck never really meant it to be. And then when it turned out it wasn't the magic bullet, people sort of dismissed it. But what Dweck's research and those of her colleagues have shown is that growth versus fixed mindset can be useful in certain situations with certain kinds of students. So it's valuable, but it's not a magic bullet. It was never really meant to be. Now, mindset actually goes beyond growth versus fixed mindset. We can also look at it more broadly. Some work by Farrington and colleagues has reviewed the literature, and they have found these 4 beliefs are related to a productive, successful mindset. They bring about productive persistence, where students are willing to work hard, even in the face of challenges and setbacks. So these are the 4 basic beliefs that Farrington has identified. I belong in this academic community. My ability and competence grow with my effort. I can succeed at this or in this course, and this work has value for me. So we can translate this into psychological concepts. I belong in this academic community is belongingness. A person needs to see themselves as a recognized member of a community, whether that be in a particular class or on a particular campus. They need to see themselves as being a member of a community in full standing. Okay, so that's belongingness. Then my ability and competence grow with my effort. That is growth mindset, which we've just talked about. And then I can succeed at this. Psychologists would call this academic self-efficacy, where you believe that through your own efforts, you can succeed at a particular course. This is related to growth mindset, but this has to do with a particular challenge or a particular assignment or course here, that you have the ability to succeed at this particular challenge. And then finally, this work is value for me. They see this course as being important to their long-term goals. They have to see the work as having value. And this is something that faculty often overlook because we already believe that our fields are important. We forget that students don't necessarily share that same belief. All right, so how do we deal with student mental mindset? We should be transparent in the goals. As we assign work, students may see it as busy work, so we need to explain what the goal of this assignment might be, how it relates to the goals of the course, and the value of the work, what students will get out of it, what it will help them be able to do, what skills they'll be able to get out of it. Okay. You should structure feedback, especially in introductory courses where students are getting have different kind of structure of like sub goals to accomplish, so they will get a sense of efficacy, and the feedback should be constructive so that it helps them to improve and get better. And then promote productive persistence by promoting belongingness, making sure that everyone feels included in the course. Everyone has a chance to contribute. Contributing that or promoting a growth mindset, promoting effort, and especially if it's a constructive effort, promoting academic self-efficacy, especially through formative assessments, small assignments where students have a good chance of success and they can see the value of the work, and then making clear what the value of the work might be. Right, so then that brings us to the second challenge, which is student fear and mistrust, which is related to mindset. If students are fearful about taking a course or they don't trust that the professor is working towards their best interest. So students come into some courses not with neutral emotions, but actually with negative emotions. They may have had failure experiences before or some sort of negative experience of a course. So they come in already fearful and anxious about a course. And this is going to affect their ability and to do well in the course. It's going to affect their motivation to do well in the course. And they have to think about whether they can overcome this fear and this anxiety about the course. Student trust in the teacher. They have to think about whether the teacher is a competent teacher, if the teacher is fair, and if the teacher is going to be helpful to the students in being successful. All right, let's talk about trust a little bit more because that's a topic that actually hasn't gotten a lot of attention in the research literature. Student trust comes into play when students feel vulnerable, when they feel like there's a lot of uncertainty as to whether they will do well or not. So the greater the fear and anxiety and stress that a student's experiencing, the more important student trust in the teacher is. So math anxiety is very well established as a major source of challenge for a lot of students. So for a particular course where the students have a lot of anxiety, then that student trust in their particular teacher is really, really important. So the student trust is the student's willingness to risk vulnerability, pursue challenging work, take on challenging work, due to the belief the teacher is competent, will demonstrate integrity, and will act in ways that are beneficial to the student in terms of their learning and development. So we break this down into three components. Competence: the teacher is knowledgeable about their field. The teacher is a skilled teacher. They know how to present information clearly, design activities that are helpful. The teacher has integrity, which means the teacher is truthful, keeps their word. They're conscientious. When they make a promise, they keep it. They're fair. They don't play favorites. They're not biased against certain people, and they're respectful. They treat people as, with respect and dignity. Now, notice the operative word here is fair, not necessarily equal. Faculty who are trusted tend to be flexible but fair, as opposed to simply addressing the same, treating everyone exactly the same. They recognize that people have different challenges and different, there are different challenges in their life. So they take that into account, whether someone may have had a death in the family or something along those lines. Then the last one is beneficence, where the student believes the teacher is working to promote and enhance student learning and development. Beneficence is an extremely important part of student trust in the teacher. If you have all three of those, then you have a high level of student trust. So how do we deal with fear, anxiety, and mistrust? One approach that's shown a lot of promise is something called cognitive reappraisal. And there will be a reference for this in the resource area. In cognitive reappraisal, students take their stress and their anxiety and they reappraise it as a way of, in a positive light. It gives them energy to do better. It helps them to focus. It helps them to go the extra mile on exams. So instead of thinking of it as something that's negative, we reappraise it as something positive. And there's research which shows that interventions of cognitive reappraisal can actually help first-year students to do better. We can build self-efficacy through formative assessments, and then we can engage in wise feedback to improve trust. So let's talk about wise feedback for a second here. Imagine you're in a course and you make an F on a paper, right? Now, there are two ways that the professor can present this failing grade. First, you can just write an F and say, please see me. Or alternatively, and this is from Anderton, this kind of message: your paper contains a number of errors, but they're easily correctable. I can see you're using some inefficient strategies. You come by my office hours, we can go over it, and I think I can really help you with this. Okay. Now, given these two messages, which of them is going to build trust? Which of them is going to be more likely where that student is actually going to come in and see you? It's obviously the one on the right. That's an example of what Yeager calls wise feedback, which says the feedback says, I'm holding the class to high standards. It's not like I'm holding you to an individual standard. I'm holding the whole class to this high standard. I believe you have the ability to reach these standards, and I will provide you with the help that you need. This is what wise feedback is all about, and Yeager shows that wise feedback interventions can actually improve trust, especially among at-risk populations. Right. So here are a number of resources to help you learn more about student fear and mistrust and how we can deal with them. The PERTS resource page talks a lot about mindsets. Here's an interview with Rebecca Cox, who wrote a book called The College Fear Factor, which is a case study in how fear and anxiety and mistrust can actually interfere with student learning. And then a couple of other resources for you. And then finally, here are some discussion questions that you can discuss with your colleagues and talk about how you see student fear and mistrust and how you see mindsets playing out in your classroom and how you deal with those challenges. So thank you for your attention, and I'll see you on the next video.